Can you sit it like
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. So we're here because not necessarily a complaint, but concerns. Concerns of who you spoke of in your speech here.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a matter of, and I want you to clearly understand this. We're here also to assist you in any way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Again, it flows down, so it starts up here,
Mm-hmm.
and then the two guys at the bottom of the totem pole get stuck,
Mm-hmm.
or get assigned a case. We just want to make sure that at the end of the day, no one's going to be harmed.
Violence is never an answer.
Okay, that's fair.
And I can assure you that and give you my promise
Okay.
with everything that I have.
appreciate that. And secondly, what can we do to help? And
Absolutely nothing.
There is, and I'm going to tell you why, and I hope I'm relaying this message correctly. We did speak to Scott Storms this morning.
Did he resign yet?
No. What he did say to us is that they're trying to get an exception to the exemption.
Yeah, but I qualify for 3 different exemptions.
Okay, I'm only telling you, I don't know the whole backstory. I'd love to learn a backstory for you if you want to come in.
I don't want to comment.
Okay. I'm only relaying a message.
I understand.
And at the end of the day, that's meeting with them. That's what they hope to do after speaking with the
It's too
attorney.
late for all that.
Okay.
I've been discriminated against.
Okay.
I've been denied benefits.
Right.
And I've been denied services through Selectman Storm's agenda for unjust taxation on the town of Windsor Locks.
Okay.
The chief of police was involved with incidents of immoral and unethical behavior, which has been documented with the file and election commission. I have the file number, and he is still the chief of police.
Can you explain that to? What is that about?
So he was implicated in an issue where he was posting on Facebook to encourage the vote for the police station and the senior center unjustly and unethically. Now what happened is that got passed. What happened after that is the town of Windsor Locks voted on giving an additional over $1 million in funds. Now they passed that without the town really being involved. And you know what they did? They spent $650,000 on furniture for the police station when we have 12,500 residents. The tax people are going to be burdened for that. Do you think they really bought $650,000 worth of furniture? Absolutely not. And $200,000 worth of radios, and there's more. So the chief of police has many employees in the town working crazy amounts of overtime. The chief has not provided the Board of Finance with any reports of what he's used that money for. The chief of police is 9 months behind on collecting all income for extra duty for police. How are you the top cop and involved with unethical and immoral issues against your townspeople? How are you hiring ex-retired police officers, bring them into your town, paying them exorbitant amounts of money instead of bringing in fresh blood that will cost the townspeople less and be more efficient in their job? And the reason is because there's massive corruption from Selectman Storm's town. I have all the proof. And that's why everybody in the town was censoring me. That's why I had secret meetings with Scott Storms and the interim director of finance. The interim director of finance has been arrested or implicated in an issue in East Haven for similar issues. He was hired from the town of Windsor Locks as an intern basis, so they didn't investigate fully what was going on.
So that aside, what is your issue with the exemption in
Because
that
my mortgage is $700 more a month.
Okay.
And many other townspeople are suffering from the same type of thing due to unethical and immoral issues from the top down.
How is your mortgage?
Because my
When
taxes.
it's a private, taxes.
Mhm.
That's
Because
not
I
part of
wasn't-
your mortgage. Taxes are
It
different.
is. My mortgage.
It's not.
It is.
A bank has a mortgage. And listen, I'm talking from a homeowner.
So why is my mortgage $1,999 a month now as opposed to $1,356?
We're talking apples and oranges. You're talking taxes end of it. So there was a reassessment, correct?
Right.
Okay.
But
All
that's
right,
what I
all right.
mean. I'm supposed to be fully tax exempt.
Okay.
So if the town doubles
All right.
the property value,
Thank you. Because
then
I'm trying to understand that.
Right.
Thank you.
And I have videos of John Creed discriminating against me. I have videos of him thanking me for my service sarcastically after 3 times he denied me my exemption. I have emails requesting to talk to the town attorney or somebody else that can help me, and John denied me. John is not intelligent enough or qualified enough to opinionate on something he doesn't know about.
Kevin, I apologize. Who's John?
John Creed is the
John
tax
Creed.
sign.
Yeah, John.
He told me multiple times, which I recorded, that my VA disability precludes me from it. VA disability is not an income. It's a benefit. Any competent person on the planet can Google that and figure it out. How are you the tax assessor and you don't know that? Unless you're doing it on purpose. So the town of Windsor Locks has discriminated against me, failed to render services to me based on my veteran status and disabilities. I brought attention to Scott Storms, who is the mayor, essentially, of Windsor Locks, and nothing happened. They tried to sweep it under the rug. They tried to offer me a job with the town of Windsor Locks to quiet me because they knew the information that I was going to expose. I understand how a public forum meets and how everything meets because I went to the meeting beforehand, so I could understand the process. I did everything right. The board members were shouting and trying to silence me and violate my free speech, my free speech to protect themselves. The chief of police is sending agents of his department to intimidate people that are associated with me.
Who's that?
Linda Palmer. She's a town member that applied for a
You're
pistol permit.
100% off on that one.
Well,
And listen to me. Let me hear me out. Now I'm listening to you.
mhm.
That is a separate issue. That is not anything.
Okay.
Listen to me. I'm telling you unequivocally and looking you dead in the eye as a man.
Mhm.
You're 100% wrong when it comes out. That is a separate issue with the police department. Listen, and I'm not going to bring her name in, but she has different avenues to do what she needs to do.
I understand that.
That is unfair statement you made.
Okay.
I've listened to everything you're saying,
But,
and listen,
but
I can't.
Well, how I'm gonna piggyback on that is when she called asking for documentation. Why did somebody have to call and yell at her and be all aggressive? Why couldn't they just provide it for her? That was the issue.
I did not speak to her.
Okay,
I wasn't the
somebody
one-
spoke to her and was really
I spoke
rude.
to her. Okay. I
That's
spoke to
all.
her. I'm just telling you, I spoke to her last week and I provided what she needed.
This
Then
wasn't
she-
last week. This was
No, this was
yesterday.
last week. I'm sorry.
Yeah, this was
last
yesterday.
week. Somebody spoke to her yesterday, and I think I heard the person say, "I apologize."
They were very rude to her. That's the only thing I had with it. I don't know what
Yes,
else is
yes,
going
sir.
on.
Yes, sir.
So
And I
whatever
think
you're
he
saying,
said, "Listen, I apologize.
Right.
I was misunderstood," and I think they had a nice conversation after that.
that's fine.
But listen, I'm telling you,
I understand.
That is
listen,
a
I'm not an
separate thing.
unreasonable person.
and I can tell you that it's a separate issue.
I understand.
And
I don't know all the
I don't
issues.
know the
I don't
woman.
know either.
I'm not a Facebook guy. I've never been on Facebook. Our only thing is when Detective Resto and I got called in, people presented a Facebook posting, correct? If
And
I'm
people
wrong.
wrongly interpreted what I said, and some idiot posted on it, and then it got way out of hand.
Then we got the Capitol Police called us.
Because he's walking around with my picture, which made me super nervous.
So
As a disabled veteran, now every cop is walking around with my picture, and I just walk by it, and I'm like,
can I ask this? You were, and I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. Trust me, I'm not. He watched it, I watched it. I just watched you on closed circuit TV in there because they did the police department had it. You were great. I don't know what I mean. Very well spoken. Can you go into the Windsor Locks town hall during finance meetings and be that guy we just saw?
Not without my attorney, no.
No, not the police department. I'm talking about town hall. When you go to the meetings.
I don't trust anybody associated with the town.
No, I'm talking about
He means your demeanor.
your demeanor.
The way you were there.
Going into the offices.
My demeanor has always been that.
But can you be that guy?
My
going
demeanor
in?
has always been that in the town of Windsor Locks.
We're not hearing that.
Because I'm implicating people.
Do you have video of that?
I have video of everything. Do you want to hear it?
No. Do you have video of
John yelling
No,
at me.
you going into like the finance office, talking to people at the finance office.
Who did I talk to in the finance office?
Whoever their staff person was that day.
Who did I talk to? John Creed?
No. Did you talk to a female in that office?
No.
Did you get in a shouting match? And I don't want to call it a shouting match. Were you raising your voice? Are you, by the way?
I have a traumatic brain injury.
Yeah.
So
What about hearing?
I have hearing issues. I have tendonitis.
That's good
And
to
I've
know.
explained it to them.
Okay, good.
So the town doesn't know how to handle people with disabilities, and then they're assuming that because I raised my voice and I'm 6'3" and 250 pounds, and they have my DD Form 214, that they're nervous.
Yeah.
Because on the bottom of it, it says expert rifleman, right?
Yeah.
So that's why everybody's nervous.
Yeah.
But did I threaten anybody? Did I?
Nope, they're not saying that. No.
Right. So because I'm talking louder, because if you go into the town hall and you talk to the clerks
Yep.
in the clerk office, ask them about Kevin. They will tell you about me. I have had no issues with them ever, and I am.
You have a brother in town?
Yes.
Yeah, they said your brother was.
Involved with Senator Kissel for similar type stuff. So I'm being discriminated against and persecuted against in a town that I've never caused an issue in. Just trying to protect the people.
Sure. No,
And you're right.
You're right.
You're right to-
I never am threatening to anybody for any reason.
Okay.
Now, if you come at me, as you can see, I will not back down. I won't. But I will intelligently.
And you're telling us there will never be
I swear, my children,
okay.
my dog, whatever you want.
Do you live with your family in town? I've never even heard your name
Exactly.
until this morning.
Exactly.
So.
I like to stay to myself like a disabled veteran. I don't want no problems with anybody. But when John Creed says, and I quote, "If you want me to change it, have Richard Blumenthal call me. Thank you for your service," sarcastically. Is that how a tax assessor that is elected by the townspeople should talk to people? And I have all that on record. All of it. I have on record outside Selectman Storm's office when I went up there and told the receptionist I need to talk to him. I'm having a real issue. She said, "Well, you can't talk to him now." I said, "Well, I'll wait." "You can't wait." I go, "This is a public building. What do you mean I can't wait?" And I sat there quietly, waited. Now I waited, nothing happened. I didn't interrupt anybody, I didn't raise my voice, nothing. But I recorded Scott Storm say, "I do not want churches in my town. They don't pay taxes." And in the meetings that I talked to him with, I called him out on that. And he denied it. And then I played the tape for him, and you should have seen his face. And then when I went to the town hall and stated fact, I only speak in fact, everything that I had to say, it implicated several members of the board, and they were not happy with it. So they, as elected officials, didn't maintain decorum and infringed on my rights of free speech in a public hearing. And I am not the only person in town that has these type of issues between whether it's the police department, the town hall. The town hall is known for when people speak up and oppose their agenda. This is the type of stuff they do. They try to intimidate and discourage people from speaking through threats. I'm not afraid. I didn't do anything wrong.
Has anybody threatened you? Have you had any threats that would rise to a criminal investigation?
I don't have any threats no. It's more of a disability, discrimination, civil type stuff.
Okay, because if If you feel that's happening to you, you need to come see
I
us.
feel nervous about everything I've been doing, obviously. But if you look at my history, I'm telling you, I will not be violent unless I have to defend myself accordingly with the letter of the law.
How so?
If somebody comes to my house or something like that, obviously I'm going to protect myself. But I have dogs too,
You mean come to your house like with malicious
intent? Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
not the mailman dropping.
No.
Okay.
No. I saved the lady that lived across the street from me's life.
Where's that?
West Street. The lady across the street. Came home from work. She was trying to use her leaf blower. She wasn't using it right, so I was fixing it to suck it up. And she didn't look well, so I'm like, you don't look well. You take your medicine, how you feeling, all this stuff. Sat her down. She had a seizure. Called the police, called the ambulance. Somebody broke into my car. I called the police. Chased them out of the driveway. I'm not stupid. I was an MP in the Army. I'm going to use the minimum amount of force necessary to de-escalate a situation, and I'm going to use my words to do it.
Sure.
That's all.
Cool. Listen, again, we're not here to make an arrest. We're not here. We're just trying to, I guess, a little bit of education, like where you're coming from, so we have a better understanding. That's it.
Because things have been missed in the past, not in Windsor Locks or in Connecticut, but in other parts of the country, where people have posted things, have given signs, and then they acted, and
I'm not that guy.
no, and that's what we want to make sure.
I would
You get
never
what I'm
be that
saying?
guy. I'm not suicidal. I'm not homicidal. I'm not aggressive. I don't take any drugs or medications. I'm a complete sound mind.
So I listened to you speak. That woman there, I know her history, and I think she's pretty sincere with what she told you and what you need to do, and make sure you respond to her. Obviously you respond to her in writing. I know her reputation. I'm not a politician. I've never been in politics.
Me either.
I don't have any.
I didn't want to do all this, but when you challenge a soldier,
I have an
and tell me.
I have an Instagram account that I've never posted a damn thing. I don't know anything. I'm not a social media guy, so I don't see what you write until it's. Honestly, I never see what anybody posts until it's brought to us, and it's what Facebook is a.
And I sent a message to that person that posted that and told him you're a fucking dumbass. Why would you say that? Like, why would you say anything like that on social media?
Yeah, which when you posted the news, they'll know me tomorrow, and then they.
Yeah, and then somebody posted they said something about an active shooter or some shit like that. I didn't know anything about it. And then I walk by the podium here and I see a picture of myself as a soldier out of the corner of my eye. So I confronted him. Why do you got a picture of me? Oh,
Who was it? A police officer?
the Capitol Police Lieutenant.
Oh, it was. Okay.
And then they didn't have their body cameras on, so I told them to turn their body cameras on. And then they started being aggressive with me, so I started being aggressive back. And then they took me out.
Don't do that here because they can.
I know, but I'm just telling you what happened.
Then your message will never get across. You know that.
Well, I went outside and spoke with them, and then, like we're speaking, convinced them that it would be a good idea to let me exercise my right of free speech. And I've been here for 2.5 hours, went through the tour, went through the metal detector. How am I a threat to anybody? And why are you walking around with my picture? And the reason why I blocked my Facebook and changed my picture so it didn't look like me, because I knew this was going to happen.
But they're probably just doing their job. And
I understand that. I shook their home. I shook every one of their hands
Right,
after
right.
it. I understand it, and I
Right.
shouted them out on Facebook because they're doing their job.
I mean, sometimes if you were an MP,
right,
you would
in the
give
case
intel.
that something did happen and they did nothing, that's terrible. That's terrible. And I would rather be the victim of something like that than have the adverse happen. 100% of the time. And I can understand that because I have a reasonable intellect and I'm a very smart person.
Well, when you had to be an MP, you had to score high.
I was a 140 out of 144.
Right.
So
that, I know that.
when
That's a lot. Yeah.
I had a military intelligence
You
contract.
couldn't be an MP if you didn't score high on,
So-
on your ASVAB.
Right. So when people talk to me, the reason I look like this is because I want them to underestimate me. I want them to lie to me. I want to use my intellect instead of my size and aggressiveness and all the other things that get you nowhere.
How you feeling physically?
I'm terrible. I have 20 disabilities.
But listen, you can say what you want about the Windsor Locks Police Department, and Detective Russell will tell you. You need to come see us. That's what we do. We're not all. I don't want you to think we are. Listen, we were hired from other police departments. I love Windsor Locks. I care about Windsor Locks. I do. I care about the citizens. I'm not
But
one.
not everybody's like you, sir. And then it's unfortunate.
You know where I grew up? Right here.
Yeah.
You know where he grew up? Right here in this
I
city.
grew up in East Hartford.
Yeah.
I grew up in East Hartford. I lived on McKee Street. I grew
Your
up
whole
with-
life?
I moved there at 13 years old because I was getting in trouble as a kid.
I was on Garvin Street.
My mom and grandmother lived on Prospect Street their whole life. Gooden is their last name.
What's your last name?
Gooden.
No kidding.
My-
They were right. They were right.
Right
down
on
the road.
Prospect Street in Yellow House. My mom's
What
name
was
is
what's across street? You know?
Prospect Street and Main Street. So right by St. Mary's Church, the next street over.
Did you go to St. Mary's Church?
I did, yeah.
I did too. That
I
was
did
my church
catechism.
growing up.
Yeah, I did catechism there until I was
How
like.
old are you?
I'm 40.
Small world. Huh?
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, I got out of the Army in 2010, came back to Connecticut, and
That's a big family name in East Hartford.
yeah, kind of. I'm more associated
Did you
with.
have a famous wrestler in your
No,
family?
everybody asked me that.
John Knapp?
My uncle was John Knapp, but I don't think he was that famous of a wrestler.
He's my age.
He was a CO in the Department of Corrections, and then my dad died when I was young. My dad was 40 when he passed away, so
Wow.
I was only 8.
So, again, I'm going to offer you anything I can. I don't.
There's really nothing you can do. I mean,
Well,
the exemption is going to get processed like it's going to get processed. I'm sure with the testimony I just did today and what's going to happen in Windsor Locks, I'm going to have a shitstorm of people wanting to talk to me. And the whole reason why I didn't do this sooner is because I suffer from a lot of things, and this is a lot of added stress for me.
You talked about the VA a little bit.
Mhm.
What are they doing?
Nothing. I'm on a waiting list for a mental health appointment in Massachusetts. I filed complaints against the VA here in Connecticut, did the inspector general, everything, nothing happened. I recorded my APRN touching me. Nothing happened.
Kevin, if we can do something with that,
No.
I mean,
You don't want to. No.
I don't trust them either. I've been like this for myself.
what about the VA here?
No. Connecticut's the problem. I go to the VA Mass now. I have a primary care in Mass. But they put me on a waiting list because they don't have enough.
Did you ever live up in the Springfield area?
No. So I got out of the Army. I lived up by Mansfield, Coventry area there. Then my brother bought a house. He lives in Ella Grasso's old house and said, the taxes are super cheap here.
Oh, he does.
You should buy a house. And then, so I bought a house down the street. And
How long you been?
like 5 years. I used to work. I worked like a maniac. It wasn't conducive to me getting help for myself, so I stopped. And
You said you had kids?
Yeah,
How many kids?
2, 18 and 10. About to be 18 now. So that's it.
They're still in Windsor Locks?
Nope. My daughter's in Wyndham, and my daughter's in Coventry. My son's in Wyndham. So, but I want to move out of Connecticut because there's no veteran benefits here for Connecticut. And it's all, there's 1,209 veterans. You passed the bill a year ago and you can't figure out where to get funding for it. Yet, all this money is just fraud, waste, and abuse everywhere. How did Windsor Locks make $59 million in receivables last year and donate $0 to benefit veterans? $0. Zero. I'm 100% permanent and
Did
total.
you say 1,200 veterans in Windsor Locks?
1,209 in the state of Connecticut, permanent and total. That's it. We're super underserved, appreciated, and all the people in this building use us as a political pawn, including Scott Storms. He didn't know my name. He's been associated with the town for 40 years. I'm 100% permanent and total veteran. How do you not know that? But there's pictures all over the internet of you with all these vet reps and everything else, and you pay a veteran service counselor and a social worker and all this stuff. They don't know my name.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. We had to
right? Nobody knows my name. And now, because I created what people are perceiving as a threat or being aggressive or whatever, this is just par for the course.
Kevin, your next meeting you're going to town hall, for instance. Your next visit to town hall, are you going with an attorney? Is that what you're doing? Did I misunderstand you? Because you said you didn't trust anybody you would go in with.
I mean, I will always be recording myself with any interaction with any townspeople I have from now on forward.
Yeah.
That would probably be the best thing. But my attorney will be reaching out once I compile.
Who's your attorney?
I'd rather not say right now.
Okay, cool.
Town will find out.
Yeah.
They don't live in Connecticut anyway. But,
Okay.
I contacted the Veteran Legal Center before I did all this. I mean, I contacted another attorney. I put everything in writing. Contacted multiple members of my family. Told them everything's going on because I'm scared. Because I've watched Netflix of people challenging politicians, corruption, all this thing, and it's very easy for somebody to do something crazy out of desperation. You know that, I know that. So, am I aggressive? Am I a threat to anybody? Absolutely not. Unequivocally. And anybody that says anything otherwise, I would challenge them to show me evidence of the contrary.
They made it very clear to us, who we spoke to this morning, that it wasn't a physical threat.
It was a statement of my intentions.
This is what I think. When you have somebody in Scott Storm's position and you have an employee within the town hall and they don't feel comfortable, he has to address it. I think that's why we're here.
Yeah, but if I don't feel comfortable about the town people doing their job since February 3rd, why didn't he address that?
Right. You walking into offices and filming, I'll be honest with you, Kevin, anybody can listen to me.
They can't do anything. It's a public building.
Right, and it's the world Detective Bristol and I live in. We don't care.
But this is the reason
The first
why.
thing we said to you, go ahead and...
Yeah, but it's sad that I have to do this because I would openly have a conversation with anybody if I don't.
And that's what we're here to offer you. If you want to come...
I didn't say F you guys, I'm leaving, right?
No,
I could have.
No.
You're absolutely right.
Absolutely right. You could have said, hey, guys, speak to my attorney.
Right.
Absolutely.
We respect that.
What we're here to offer you is anytime. Come in, speak to us. If you need something, if you feel like something's happening to you in a criminal
That's
aspect.
why I didn't involve you guys because it's not
Okay.
criminal. I mean, it's not. I mean, it is criminal, but it's not your purview, I guess you could say,
I hear you.
to investigate against your own department, I guess. So it really wouldn't make sense for me to do that. And I emailed the attorney all my information because he said he was going to do an investigation. So I just gave him all the information and told him my intentions. Just so that it was recorded, because an attorney has to report things. An attorney has ethical and moral obligations to report something if it's a crime, otherwise he's going to implicate himself. So I knew by me telling him and multiple other people that eventually Scott Storms is going to get what he has coming to for being a corrupt politician that has been running rampant in the town of Windsor Locks and taking money out of your pocket, my pocket, his pocket, and all the other people that are underserved in Windsor Locks.
So that's good what you just said, and I want to ask you respectfully. You said he has what's coming to him.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean by that?
Resignation. Answers. A entity above him that oversees him. I don't know if it's a senator or
Essentially, you're saying he should have to answer to something.
somebody. Yeah, he should have to answer to the townspeople. That's who he should.
But not
answer
you.
to. I don't matter.
Yeah.
It's not my problem. I mean, it is my problem, but I'm not gonna do anything other than legal means to bring awareness to this issue. I've never used threatening language. I have not.
What
If the
about
town,
his whole history, the background the history you did with him.
What do you mean?
If I'm not mistaken, did you post something about Scott Storm's history?
Yeah, absolutely.
Uh,
His ethics board and everything else that he
Yeah.
sits on, absolutely. Yeah,
Alright.
that's public knowledge, right? It's on a website. Why can't I repost it?
No threats were made when posting on anything like that? Okay. Again, I don't have Facebook.
No, I've never made a threat towards him. There's no reason for me to do it. He did this to himself. Why do I need to threaten? He doesn't have to answer to me. I don't have any official capacity to enforce anything on him. But there's got to be somebody that can, right? I mean, the board of directors or the board of finance or the other selectmen or whoever the case may be. And that's why I brought it to the town's attention, because those people on that board are being manipulated, and they don't even know it. Some of them are implicated. The ones that were yelling at me are probably the ones that have something to side. I mean, that would be common sense. I mean, why are you yelling at a member of the public that's a decorated combat veteran? Why? Why are you forcing me to raise my voice? I went in there with no other intention but to read my statement. And I walked out afterwards. How am I being aggressive?
Where was this?
At the town hall meeting.
Did you go to one last night?
Last night, yeah. It's all recorded. You guys can watch it.
No, I think it was. I think it was the postings that concerned.
But
And you're saying you changed that picture of you on your Facebook page or something else prior to that?
yeah, there's a picture of me. Yeah, I changed it.
And now there's the picture
Of
you
me as a veteran, because I'm speaking as a
with a
veteran.
long gun across your chest?
I mean, it's a picture of me.
Yeah, no. So I'm just saying to you, that's, so people outside of our line of work were thinking, wait a minute, he made this, then he posted this picture, so.
A picture of me from 20 years ago?
Yeah. But they're
As a
not-
veteran?
Hey, I just want you to understand this, and I know you know this. They're not in our world.
Yeah, but that's the problem. They're discriminating against me because I posted a picture of me from 20 years ago? Because I presented history on Facebook?
Yeah. No,
That's
I
pretty ignorant, I would say. I've posted that picture multiple times before. Why didn't the town get offended then?
because you didn't make a comment that everybody's gonna know my name.
Because I'm speaking at the assembly.
Right, and then there were some comments like you made the connection with that person, then
Right, but I was here on a
No,
tour.
right, but then
I
the
didn't
guy-
know that was happening.
Yeah, but then the guy made a comment after that. You know what I'm saying? So it was a.
So why investigate me? Why investigate them? I didn't write the comment.
Yeah.
What does it have to do with
This
me?
is not a. This is a sit down and. have
Well,
a
I understand that, but it's still
conversation.
nerve-wracking that because
Yep,
somebody else
I agree.
posted something else, I'm getting implicated or investigated for.
Sure.
And I'm, like, the tough part is like, as much as the issues I've been going on since February 3rd and have it all documented, nothing's changed.
But you're right, so if I can just, so you're right about, you can post history, I have my own.
Mhm.
I have one with my AR with the
Mhm.
rounds on me and behind the deuce and a half,
Mhm.
right? I got one like that, right? And I have another one where I graduated from Fort Sill, right?
Mhm.
In the Class A with
Yeah,
the,
yeah.
So people, so it's just perception, right? No,
Mhm.
listen, I get you. You can put what you want, but that's where the common citizen might get a little concerned about that.
Mhm.
You know, where they say, well, why did maybe the other picture come up? And I don't know. That's
This
what
is
we have to.
this is another example of fraud, waste, and abuse. That's what it is. On your guys' behalf.
What do you mean?
You guys are spending your time here when you could be investigating something else that really matters. And that's my opinion.
We're busy.
Right? You see what I'm saying? Because some person, I don't know who it is, that made the complaint, I'll get it from a Freedom of Information Act, along with everything else that is requested about me or has been said about me, because I'm not stupid. And then I'll react accordingly. Because, guys, you haven't known my name for 5 years in town. If I didn't do this, you wouldn't know my name until I died in town. There's no reason for me to get in trouble. I don't really go anywhere. I have my dogs.
That's cool, and that's all we want.
Yeah, I'm a simple guy.
That's all we want to make.
Simple guy. I'm the guy you can call. I'm the guy that if there's a problem, I'm going to be the first one trying to help somebody, not hurt somebody.
That's why you joined the military, right?
I was 17 years old, 9/11 happened, and I said, I'm going to go defend my country. And my mom said, "You're not joining the Army." I said, "I'm going to be 18 in a couple months, so you sign it now or sign it later." This is my intention. I have a long history of military, and Connecticut is not supportive of the sacrifices people like me make. And it's unfortunate that, you know, whoever complained isn't as concerned about veteran issues as they are about Facebook.
That's why I don't have Facebook.
Right, but like, it's so sad that I have to do all of this to create awareness when I've been sending 50 emails. I sent an office to the OPM management. Anthony Nolan called me and I hung up in his face because he refused to stand by me and help me. That's why he wasn't in that room when I made the testimony, because he didn't want me to implicate him. I said, "Will you stand for me and with me? Because I'm taking on a lot here." He said, "Well, I don't know what's going on, so I don't really have much time." I said, "That's all I needed to hear," and I hung up.
Who was that?
Anthony Nolan, state representative and the chair for the Veterans Committee, called me personally after everything, because you know and I know.
He should have been in that room.
You know and I know that when people are doing backward stuff, they communicate with the people that are involved. So Jason Lathrop, when I was going to speak before the public hearing, turned the microphone off to try to silence me. But I didn't speak first, another woman did. So
I know that name, Jason Lathrop.
he's the interim finance person for the town of Windsor
Jason,
Locks.
today.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah,
weasel.
he's brand new.
He's a weasel. He's been implicated before, if you Google his name right now, in 2012 in East Haven for embezzlement of funds in the similar situation that they're doing right now. And the chief of police is implicated in influencing the town of Windsor Locks to vote on unnecessary municipal buildings that will cause excessive tax burdens on the town of Windsor Locks. And then they voted for $22 million worth of bonds at 4%, but they don't collect money for extra duty for police officers, and are losing extra duty to other towns because the chief of police can't do his job. I could do his job. I was an MP desk sergeant in Korea and ran an entire post that had Chinook helicopters and thousands of people. Like, how are you not collecting money for your townspeople, but then you're giving you guys the money? Like, how can't you balance a budget? It's unethical, immoral, and illegal. I mean, I have everything, and that's why they're so aggressive towards me. That's why the Windsor Locks Forum was blocking stuff that I said. Because people are going to prison. That's what I mean by answer to it. It has nothing to do with violence. All letter of the law. Nothing to do with anything aggressive. I'm not an aggressive person. You can ask Chris Letourneau in the town hall clerk and the young lady in there that helps with everything else. I told him and her at the meeting before I spoke, you guys are wonderful. You guys have been nothing but great. They're the ones that told me to go talk to First Selectman Storms upstairs after I talked to Jason. I put everything in writing. I'm sure you guys have copies of all that because Selectman Storms had all of it. I've been very eloquent and politically correct in what I've said. Am I mad and passionate? Absolutely. Am I aggressive and violent? Absolutely not. That's it. Any questions you guys have, I'm more than willing to answer and be open about. I have nothing to hide. I'm not aggressive, not violent. Don't intend on hurting anybody, myself, nothing.
I'm telling you though, I'm just telling you from you walk into all your meetings in town, the way you're talking to us, nobody's gonna have a problem.
They are, because I'm gonna implicate them.
That's, I think,
Did you watch the video of the town hall meeting?
listen.
You should watch it. And then
Kevin,
you
I'm
then you
telling
will
I'm telling you, Kevin.
We'll watch it. I'll
Yeah,
watch when
watch
I
it.
get back.
We were called into this, and we were called to talk.
Yeah, yeah.
I understand, but if you watch the video
Mhm.
and watch the board of directors, how they handle themselves, everything I'm saying will make tons of sense. Because if I'm exposing you and you're getting mad and emotional, you're not trying to figure out what's going on. You're trying to stop me from talking and silence me so that it doesn't get out. And the meeting was the reason why I went to the town hall meeting the day before is because I wanted to do everything the right way. and follow the rules of the forum or whatever town hall meeting. I didn't disrupt the meeting. I offered assistance. They didn't know what MSRP meant. I told them.
That's just out of curiosity, and it's your right. I'm not saying it's not your right. Why do you go in and is it taking pictures or video?
I took
recording
pictures.
The finance office. Why?
I didn't take pictures of the finance office. I took pictures of on the board there. There's a whole bunch of exemption sheets or whatever and everything else like that, and I just took pictures of them because that states everything that you need to qualify for that.
Sure.
And it goes against what John was telling me. And I'm saying, John, it's right here. Well, you missed the deadline. Well, it says if the grand list, if you guys haven't did it, my deadline is the 31st. Well, you didn't do your DD Form 214. But it doesn't say I have to do that, John. It says I have to apply by the 31st.
Can you show me that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'd love to see it.